When I was 16, I used to house sit for a family friend named Mr. Evans. He traveled a lot for work some executive job, always gone for days at a time. He lived alone in this one-story ranch-style home just outside our small Illinois town, backed upright against thick forest. The kind of property where the backyard just ends, and the woods begin. It was a pretty sweet gig. He paid me to feed his cat, water the plants, bring in the mail basic stuff. I'd go over after school, stay the night, leave in the morning. Easy. One Friday evening, I got to the house around 5 p.m. Mr. Evans had already left that morning, and he'd left a note on the kitchen counter with some cash in. I fed the cat, made a frozen pizza, and settled in to watch movies. It was early spring, sun still out a little later, but the trees in back cast these long, creeping shadows across the yard. Around 9:30, I heard a knock at the front door. Not the doorbell, just a knock. It wasn't loud, but it was weird. Mr. Evans didn't get many visitors, especially not unannounced. I peeked through the peephole and saw a man standing there. No expression, just standing. He was wearing a gray hoodie with the hood up, jeans and boots. His hands were at his sides, clenched into fists. I didn't recognize him at all. I said, "Hello?" Through the door, no answer. He just stood there for a long moment, then knocked again. Slower this time? I said, "Can I help you?" Finally. He spoke, quiet. "Is Mr. Evans home?" I told him no, that he was out of town. The man didn't respond. He just kept standing there, staring at the door like he was waiting for something else. I said, "Sorry, he's not here," and backed away from the door. After about a minute, I checked the peephole again. He was gone. No big deal, right? Maybe a lost neighbor or someone confused, except 20 minutes later, there was another knock. This time it was at the back door. The backyard was pitch black. No motion light or anything. That door had a small square window, but the porch light wasn't on, and I couldn't see outside clearly. I turned on the kitchen light to try to see better. That's when I noticed something weird. The cat was hiding, tucked under the couch, eyes wide, ears flat. I'd never seen her do that before. I slowly walked toward the back door and whispered, "Hello?" No answer. But then tap, tap, tap. Not on the door. On the window next to it. I froze. I didn't move, didn't breathe. I turned off the kitchen light and crept back toward the hallway. My phone was on the coffee table, and I grabbed it and dialed my mom's number. She answered, groggy. "What's wrong?" I whispered, "There's a man outside. I think he went to the back door." Her tone changed immediately. "Do not open the door. Call the police, now." I told her I was scared, and I didn't know if he was still there. But as I said that, I heard another knock. This time from the window in the guest bedroom. He was moving around the house. I called 911 and told them someone was trying to get in. They said officers were on the way and told me to stay quiet, lock myself somewhere, and not confront him. I went into Mr. Evans' bedroom and locked the door. There was a bat under the bed, which I grabbed just in case. Then I heard something that still makes my skin crawl. The unmistakable sound of the back. Sliding door opening. It wasn't locked. I had left it unlocked earlier when I fed the cat. I whispered to the dispatcher, "He's in the house." She said, "Stay quiet. Police are minutes away. Do not leave that room." I heard slow, deliberate footsteps on the hardwood floor, moving through the kitchen. Into the hallway. Closer. He passed by the bedroom door. Stopped. Then I heard the doorknob turn gently. Then again. Then harder. It was locked. Thank God. He didn't speak. Just stood there. I could hear his breathing. Then he left. I heard the front door open and slam shut. 2 minutes later, the police arrived. He was gone. The cops searched the woods but found nothing. No footprints. No signs of forced entry. Just a wide open sliding door. To this day, we don't know who he was or what he wanted. But the part that still keeps me up, when I checked Mr. Evans' security footage the next morning, there was no sign of the man at the front door. But there was clear footage, full body of him standing at the edge of the woods, watching the house. for. 2 hours dot just standing there, not moving, like he was waiting asterisk. The knock from the back door wasn't loud either. Just two slow, deliberate raps. The kind of sound that could almost be mistaken for the house settling or the wind shifting. Almost, but I knew better. That door didn't have a peephole, just a small square window set high in the middle. Normally, there was a porch light above it, but Mr. Evans had told me it had been broken for months. I hadn't thought much of it until now. The kitchen was dark, so I crept over to the switch and flicked it on. The fluorescent light buzzed to life, washing the room in a cold, pale glow. I stepped toward the back door, trying to angle my head to see through the window, but I couldn't see anything. Just my own reflection, faintly layered over the blackness outside. That's when I noticed something else. The cat Salem had vanished. From her usual spot, I scanned the room, and there she was, hunched low beneath the couch in the living room, ears flattened, pupils huge. She was completely still, except for the subtle twitch of her tail. I'd never seen her like that. She wasn't a jumpy cat. In fact, she usually acted like she owned the place, but right now, she looked terrified, like something primal in her had taken over. I turned back toward the back door and then I heard it tap. Tap, not on the door. On the window next to it, I froze. The sound was unmistakable knuckles or fingernails, just lightly brushing the glass. It wasn't urgent. It wasn't aggressive. It was intentional. The kind of tapping that says, I know you're in there. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Just stood still and let the silence swallow me. Then, I did the only thing I could think to do. I turned off the kitchen light. Darkness returned instantly. My eyes needed a second to adjust. I backed slowly into the hallway, 1 foot behind. The other, careful not to step on the creaky floorboard near the fridge. My phone was still in the living room, sitting on the coffee table. I crouched low and darted in, eyes flicking to every window as I passed. The drapes were all open. The glass reflected the room but gave no hint of what was outside. I grabbed the phone and dialed my mom. She picked up groggy, voice laced with sleep. What's wrong? I whispered. There's a man outside. He was at the front door before. Now he's at the back. There was a pause. Then her tone changed, instantly sharper, more alert. Did you lock all the doors? I think so. I don't know. I left the back unlocked earlier. When I fed the cat. Don't open the door, she said. Call the police now. Before I could answer, there was another knock this time, from the side of the house. A window in the guest bedroom. The rhythm was the same. Tap. I whispered to her. He's going around the house. Her voice got low. Serious. Go to a room. Lock the door. Call 911. My hands were shaking. I switched calls and dialed. The dispatcher answered immediately. I told her someone was outside the house, knocking on every window, trying to get in. Are you alone in the home? She asked. Yes. Are all the doors locked? I didn't answer right away. I'd left the back door unlocked. That hit me like ice in the gut. I don't know. Maybe not. Go to the nearest secure room and lock the door. Stay on the line with me. Officers are en route. I nodded even though she couldn't see me. Then bolted for Mr. Evans' bedroom. It had a lock. It was the furthest room from the kitchen. It had one window, but it was small and high up, too narrow for anyone to crawl through. The door clicked shut behind me. I locked it and leaned against it. Listening got silence. Then I remembered something Mr. Evans kept. A bat under the bed. I dropped to the floor and grabbed it, fingers fumbling in the dark until I wrapped around cold wood. I didn't want to be a hero. I just didn't want to die. The dispatcher's voice was calm, steady in my ear. You're doing great. Officers are about 5 minutes away. I was about to respond when I heard the sound that still makes my stomach turn every time. I think about it. The back sliding door opening. Not forced. Not shattered. Just opened because I'd forgotten to lock it. I whispered into the phone. He's inside. He got in. The dispatcher didn't hesitate. Stay silent. Do not move. Police are very close. Help is coming. I could hear footsteps. Now slow. Deliberate. Like the man wasn't in a hurry. Like he knew I was cornered. Each step echoed through the house hard solace on wood flooring. Kitchen, hallway, closer. I could hear him breathing. Then he stopped at the bedroom door and tried the handle dot, once dot, twice dot, then harder dot, rattle dash. Rattle dash, rattle dot, the lock held. He didn't speak. Didn't threaten. He just stood there, dot breathing, dot I could hear it, calm and steady on the other side of the door, dot then. Suddenly, the front door opened dot and slammed shut. He was gone. The dispatcher whispered, "Stay in the room. Police just arrived." Asterisk it. Wasn't even 2 minutes before I heard heavy boots pounding up the front steps. Then came loud knocking. Real knocking. The kind with purpose and a voice. "Police? Is anyone inside?" I scrambled to the door, still clutching the bat in, one hand and the phone in the other. My voice cracked as I shouted, "Yes, I'm in the back bedroom." "Stay there," the officer called. "We're coming in." I heard the front door open again, this time for real, and multiple sets of footsteps rushed into the house. I didn't move until I heard one of them outside the bedroom door say, "You can open it. It's safe." I cracked the door slowly. Asterisk.